I felt like, okay, maybe even the far side would be a good choice, or the Eve if they want to, at least you have some form of utility. But then I realized that Indonesia still has the Paquito. And in one point of time, this Paquito is going to be heavily targeting onto any sitting mages.
Maybe technically speaking, the Juicing, right, does have a Crimson Beacon to make a play. It gains additional shields, and you also dash away for the Paquito. Does also provide you some safety, and you hope you land down the Lantern over and over again onto either the Baxia or the Paquito to basically do the damage.
Indonesia right now should then look for an anti-dive composition, because for Cambodia, the only thing that can disrupt Indonesia at this point, they have 2 dives already. If they have a Belleric or even an Atlas in their possession, Indonesia would suffer a little bit, especially in mid to late stage of the game.
Harris ban coming up inside Team Cambodia. I think carry looks like another low-hanging fruit for Team Cambodia to ban away. Team Indonesia looking, I bet you're gonna have to try to lock down onto EXP laners, but there's so many EXP laners that are viable in this patch, or not even in this patch, in the game as well. If you open up fighters, you can scroll through the list of heroes, whereas Gold Lane is just one page.
Whereas the Atlas, we're sussing out. You want to deal with that, especially when you are extremely reliant on that dive. You're extremely reliant on getting up close and personal with Cambodia. So Indonesia doesn't want to test that metal. Belleric would be up next as well. So Cambodia might be able to ban the carry, so Claude would have a pretty decent lane. But Indonesia could very well bring up a Clint. I remember Cambodia suffered, was it Cambodia? I can't remember, but a lot of teams suffered with Clint coming into the picture as well.
Yeah, I think the fact is they don't really know how to practice, not say practice, they don't really prepare for the Clint for now, but I would agree, like, to a certain extent, right? I was quite surprised that Team Indonesia, of course.
You'll love it. This is the answer. This is your answer. It's not really a crazy idea anymore.
We have 2 bans on Leslie's, but no picks. So why is Team Cambodia so afraid? But okay, yeah, you should be afraid. Leslie is really strong.
True damage, infinite scaling potential. Immediately, Oko's the Claude, Oko's the Juicin. You don't even need to come even remotely close, and that is what Cambodia is scared of. You still got the Valor in question. That could be a possible next bit target as well. But then they suffer the early pick, early game damage, insufficient damage. So they go for the Cho instead. I like what Cambodia is. I'm picking out what Cambodia is putting down.
Yep. So far so good. Carry, I think, like what I mentioned, I feel like you replace that Leslie with, I think that would be better. Ban as compared to, you know, Leslie. Carry is a threat over the side of Akai, and also to a certain extent Cho, especially going to the later parts of the game. Unless Team Cambodia has something up their sleeves. I was thinking, hey, if they're afraid of this carry that potentially could appear, maybe the Belleric could also work as well. But it seems like, you know, Team Cambodia wants to be the aggressors here. But I'm also still a bit confused on why the Kimi earlier just now for the side of Team Indonesia, right? The Valentina feels like a low-hanging fruit to be able to pick up. You basically Beyblade battle against Akai, push the Akai away.
But it's just only one target for your IMU, which is something that you don't want to risk. You want to have someone that has a reliable kit, and I think the Traction Pulse works really well. Get the Traction Pulse, you send in Baxia, you send in Paquito, and Xiaoqi's definitely going to have a good time. And it kind of brings that range effect into Indonesia's hands. Cambodia, though, their ball is in their court, the XP lane still up and open.
If Team Cambodia wants to play something sneaky, right, the Uranus is also a good idea, right? You drop the Uranus, you just basically force Paquito to punch you in the wall, face as well. Oh, okay. Ruby coming in from the side of Team Cambodia. Another pick composition, right? You can pilot the Ruby to play exactly how the Arlot plays.
Harry just still wants to go fishing. He's a fisherman. He wants to go out to sea. He wants to be able to hook someone in.
Yeah,
and
but
I
then
think
why not Franco in the XP lane?
No, don't want to lose that crazy idea number 8.
Number 8, that's right.
We'll try to hit 10 by the end of the night. But hey,
I will.
What we will see by the end of the night is a winner for this one. Cambodia, one win away from solidifying themselves as the nation that cannot be swept.
Team Cambodia. Coming from game number 1, must be feeling good. It was a perfect game. 12-0. We'll see whether they can repeat that feat once again. If not, that's going to be really a big problem for the side of Team Indonesia.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is game number 2. It's underway. It's lights out and away we go. And Indonesia starting off in the blue, Cambodia on the red. But this time, changes has been made, especially for Indonesia. They need to be able to redeem themselves from the first game. Quite a bit of mistakes that they've made, or, you know, Cambodia preventing themselves from making that mistakes.
I think at the very least this time around, Team Indonesia does pack a lot more damage and also the kill. Alexander already popping on Revitalize.
Ty taking a lot of hits. Dalvin on that backside, dealing the damage, dealing the follow through. And Indonesia still able to push them back. Kyo still dominating the lane down the bottom side.
Yep. Shayuki, working on the enemy Beetle right there, just to kind of show who's boss. But you can see like a lot more aggression coming out from Team Indonesia though, but I want to see a little bit more control coming out from Team Indonesia. Team Cambodia on the other hand, this is a roster, or at the very least, in the early game, you do not expect them to do a lot of damage compared to Team Indonesia.
But that's the aggression, the counter-aggression from Nam. Look at where Nam is, down in purple buff. He knows that he doesn't have that retribution. He wants to contest for this one. Cambodia making beeline towards the purple buff. Shauki is right there. Nam goes over the wall. He is safe for now, but first blood over to Dalvin. That's the punish, that's the pullback though. Alexander might be in the spot of bother. The Cambodia will not be able to finish.
Dalvin laying down the damage from afar, picking up first blood for himself. I don't know whether this is worth it for the side of Team Cambodia, but Akai.
Team Akai.
Right, of course, sorry about that. Level 3 though, was able to be secured by the side of Akai this early on, with the fact that you've got the Afan a little bit slower in terms of EXP, but giving a kill over to Dalvin, I'm not too sure whether that's a good idea.
I think Nam was a little bit playing a little bit too far ahead from the rest of the team. I think he had the right idea. He knew that Afan didn't have the retribution, so he wanted to counter re-engage on that front. Now Afan rolling over the deep. Afan steals it up. Indonesia picks up that turtle. Then the spin as a counter re-engage. Cambodia knew they came in a little bit too close, but that's the charge, and that's the kill. Shauki taking control, taking out that Ruby.
Early game priority. Team Indonesia was not happy about the results of that game earlier. They resetted the mental and they're back into that game. 2 kills right off the bat. Flicker was already committed by the side. Shayuki as well. They drove by with Afan, sneak the turtle away from Team Cambodia.
Indonesia, a lot of signs of life, a lot of adjustments has been made, a lot of locker room talks. And they are all waking up this time around. Take a look at this fight. Afan just rolled over the deep, and there's no one there to stop him.
And I don't think, you know, Team Cambodia is also ready at all. The heavy spin came in a little bit too late, of course. This is a Paquito early game. He can just punch, and all of a sudden the members from the side of Team Cambodia has to make a run for it.
Indonesia playing fire, fight, fire. If Cambodia wants to go for a death ball team fight, Indonesia's gonna do the same. As long as Kimi's safe and sound and protected by 3 beefy boys, she's just gonna do that damage, and Dalvin will have a good day, a good time. It's gonna get that follow through.
Yep. As long as Dalvin was left uncontested by the side of Team Cambodia, Dalvin's going to output a lot of damage like that one. Yeah, it seems like you don't really need the Beyblade, don't really need the Valentina, you just need constant solid DPS, because Team Cambodia so far is unable to reach Dalvin.
Yep, and the top side already almost broken through, half health for that turret. Still left standing. Cambodia has to respond 20 seconds until the turtle spawns up as Indonesia still very passive. You have to deal with the Kimi. Cambodia needs to find a way to close the gap, try to reach that Kimi, try to shut her down before he does any more damage.
Standard emblem so far for everybody. Agree what they're packing into this particular fight. Of course, this match point for the side of Team Cambodia. So far, Team Indonesia is working very well.
That's the collapse, that's the deletion. Underneath the turret he goes. That is the heavy spin, locking Afan to the wall. But he managed to get out. That is the frame-by-frame moment, but won't be enough. He went a little bit too deep, so greedy. There's a guy. Alexander over the next to fall. There's the punish, there's the price to pay. But Indonesia, so worth it. You took down the Kai and took down Odom.
Worth it, man. Really super worried. Afan luckily does have the does not have the retry. may actually could actually try to basically steal that. And once again, Team Cambodia faces the problem that they cannot reach the damage coming out from Delvin. If you take a look, even though T Odin using the Wave of Dragon base to try to isolate the members, but with the high loss intel and also the revitalized park as well, they're more than happy to basically handshake and also start the turret dive as well. As Shiayuki on this Paquito is just doing a lot of damage.
Oh, Tai flew too close to the sun. This light wheels will shut him down once again. Indonesia having a good time this time around. Kyo all left all alone. That's the 4-man collapse. And Kyo can't seem to find any breathing room.
Yep, this is revenge circle by the side of Team Indonesia against Team Cambodia earlier on. Right now, at the very least, they do have some form of response as well because of the early game potential that Team Indonesia has done. Dingarai was able to secure 2 kills as well, so which means that you expect him to start to snowball, start to escalate down in the gold lane.
You know, Cambodia in the early to mid game definitely going to suffer a little bit more in the damage department. They have quite a bit of crowd control, but if Indonesia keeps on doing what they're doing, they're pushing through, they're ramping up the momentum, shifting into high gears. Cambodia not even having time to breathe, no one to protect that bottom side. High immediately shut down as well. Flanks coming in from all angles. Then maybe Indonesia would be able to stomp through to Cambodia, but I wouldn't count Cambodia off just yet. They have been in these sticky situations before.
The Glorious Pathway is such a good ability for the side of Team Indonesia right now, right? Because you can drag the Kimi along with you, and then after that land down the damage. Ooh,
it's a double stun, but Sovan should be fine for now.
Yep, still not too shabby either, but of course when you talk about later parts of the game, Dingarai will scale out of control, and now with Team Cambodia starting losing a lot of resources around the turtle themselves. Flicker already committed by Shiayuki.
Still able to get out safe though. I'm offended also used up. Indonesia looking for advantages all across that map. Turtle just easily taken down by Indonesia. No contest by Cambodia on the top side though. High taking a lot of damage, and typically you want to run that Ruby, okay? Trying to block off that escape route. That's going to be the Crimson Beacon, trying to pull that Kimi up to safety. The jetpack will get him out and alive. The flicker already used up. Shiayuki also used up all the combos. There's a major combo coming in. High, the lane is inevitable doom, and so does Nem, as both fall by the hands of Indonesia once again, giving up this free and easy kills over to Indonesia.
5k gold lead in the 7-minute mark. Delvin playing a perfect game. Shiayuki as well. The punches coming in is actually slowing down Haiming Kong, right? Haiming Kong is a Ruby that relies on the constant amount of skills to be able to be that pseudo tank. But if you're constantly CCing with the Law and Order, Afan clashing onto him, and also the Immobilize coming off, and Delvin, Shiayuki is more than happy to just punch him down to the ground even before she could actually regen.
It's that, and also it's a blue side buff, Jace. Whenever teams play in the blue side, you always have a great time. You're just look at this instant replay. You're just taking one after another. No one is just shutting Delvin down. No one's controlling this Kimi. Even if you get a shot, even if you get a pullback, you got that Purify, you got the jetpack, you're getting it out, and you're taunting Afan, and that's the recall over there as well. You got the heavy spin, you got the traction fall to lock 2 members into place. Indonesia has just so much damage. Nem just fighting it through, fighting the damage head to head.
I'm not too sure whether the Nem actually caught Delvin, or Delvin actually caught Nem, right? Delvin literally melt down the Akai as the heavy spin ongoing, right? Even though it's pushed, and now it's going to be the Claw. Hopefully he's able to do some damage. We'll not be able to find anything though.
The Justice was built, his attack speed is not as high. It's so valuable towards the side of Indonesia. Now that the Claw is still in the early stages, doesn't have the core items already built up yet. It's not too much of a threat to Indonesia, but Dingarai is to Cambodia.
Dingarai is clean up bottom lane turret, right? Well, Team Cambodia is too busy with the both 4-man for the side of Team Indonesia. But hold on a second, Lord.
A bunch right here, the heavy spin. Will Cambodia be able to do it? They secure the tornado as Cambodia finds himself some time. There is a sliver of hope. The Crimson Beacon will pull everyone back. Kyo just free hitting on the back side. They took Delvin down. Cambodia They're fighting back.
Yeah, at the very least, this is a time where, you know, Team Indonesia is starting to lose the priority. Dingarai earlier just now was getting hammered down by that Juicing. The Juicing came in, swooped in with the Crimson Beacon. This is it. This is now. It is support for the side of the Kai. And then after that, just steal the Lord away. And this is an amazing battle coming out of Team Cambodia. They have a chance back into this game for now.
Immediately shutting down Dalvin. What a play by Nam. He knows he's down. He knows he had that one job, and he did it. Taking a look at the replay, coming in the right time, pushing everyone back. Alfard was so busy handled by Ty.
Yeah, and look at the Crimson Beacon in the nick of time, and also, unfortunately, they don't really need the Blazing Duet at all, because it is just Juicing being annoying, right? Dingarai and also Dalvin is the unfortunate targets from the side. Team Cambodia earlier just now. Once these two are down, Team Indonesia ran out of steam, not enough damage, and then after that they just got hammered on.
Afan will start to charge. Distraction pulse, pulling the Kai back. The Immobilize will come through. Red carpet will block everyone into escape. There's Ty taken down. Dingarai going for a double. Dingarai is there with the damage. Dalvin will take down another. 3 members down for Cambodia. The punish will come through. Indonesia will not let that Lord slip up slide.
Yeah, that's okay coming outside of Team Indonesia. And at the very least, they recover from that small little mistake. And then after that, they return the favor twice-fold back into Team Cambodia. 3 members from the side of them down as well. And now they may be looking to pop the Holy Defense.
Cambodia still the front line. Not as front line anymore. Indonesia still has a lot of damage, a lot of penetration. It takes a lot for Nam to stay at least 2 seconds. Take a look at the replay. It's just a split fight, Jace.
It is, I think the fact is, it's just so hard for the side of Team Cambodia to actually activate the Ruby. Don't forget, in this particular patch, Ruby did receive a massive damage boost. And I think that was the main Ruby damage that was able to allow Team Cambodia to win this fight. And then after that, Sovan goes all the way in with the Crimson Beacon to basically clean up shop.
With that one decision that Nam made in the early game, the aggression that he wanted to bring out just because Indonesia invaded his jungle. They're playing on the back foot, but Cambodia still has that light. They stole that Lord. They had a pretty mental play that Indonesia doesn't want to let slide. So will they be able to repeat that?
I think it's all about positioning coming up from the Ruby, right? And also Team Indonesia, I think they need to split up Delvin and also Dingarai as much as possible. Top side.
Afan starting to charge as the arm offended. Over onto the box, yeah. Getting popped back. The rest of the charge immediately melted down. Ty cannot withstand the damage coming in from the Kimmy and the carry, both.
I'm not a big fan of that Ruby hook, but I'm offended by the way Team Cambodia hooked in Afan, thinking that he's actually burstable by the side of Team Cambodia. But no, Afan is still relevant in this particular patch, particular time, right? Level 14, and I think it's all Delvin's doing a lot of damage to the Kai.
Down low, the Ruby immediately melted. Afan wants to lead the charge. The Lantern will land and pull someone up. There's a UFO, but Indonesia, they want to stay disciplined. They're still just waiting for that Lord.
Yep, Team Indonesia right here. Perfect game in the early game, earlier on just now. And then after that, they got that 8K goalie in the pockets. And of course, you know, Delvin is just way too huge right now. Constant energy to make sure they stay.
Almost taking down Dingarai though. Sovan with a pretty good play, but no follow-up from Cambodia. Distraction pulse will pull Nam into place once again. Take a lot of damage. A lot of penetration coming in from just that Kimmy. Taking down that turret as well. The pushback onto Alexander. So no more high loss for this team fight. They're going up next. It's down way too deep. Ty falls again. Carry just way too strong, melting everyone down. Head to after another, one after another falls. Cambodia can't keep their castle alive.
They managed to hold on as much as they can around the mid, but it's a little bit too much damage coming off inside Team Indonesia to pick up a good consolation prize in the form of Alexander. Siayuki come in, punch the turret, and then after that he bucks out.
Base almost barren at the very least. Cambodia still save that T3 up on that top side.
Yeah, if you notice how the team fight is going in, T is unable to find the pickoff, and after that, once the Dingarai is just there, that kick makes him a little more safer. The members from the side Team Cambodia wasn't able to follow up. Still, the problem is in Delvin. Delvin is just free hitting from the back line. Nobody from the side Team Cambodia was able to collapse onto him. I think it's about the Ruby. Hopefully the Ruby was able to just, you know, land on a flicker, I'm offender onto Delvin, and then after that, just find a catch and then burst him down.
Lars pathway, just to push Cambodia back. Intimidation factor, intimidation tool by Indonesia. So far ahead, 10K gold lead, Jays. How can Cambodia claw their way back up? What is the play that they're looking for? In Indonesia, it seems like they're pulling them into the jungle.
Yeah, I think just Team Cambodia, I think just stay at base, right? I think that's the only way to do it. Focus on the wave clear, use the juice in the wave clear, and also hopefully Pavin as well. Main Kong, on the other hand, I think hook somebody right into the turret. I think they need to try to play pick off the same strategy they did in game number 1. I heard a consume play.
Yeah, they're going straight for Keo. Doesn't have the BMI out of the way. He will be the next target, though. The heavy spin will push Delvin into position. Delvin does not have enough damage. Now Kai bought a little bit of time for Cambodia to stay out safe, but the damage will not come through, though. They're suffering a little bit, Jays.
Yeah, Delvin is just outputting so much damage to shred onto the Akai. The Akai can only do the heavy spin and try to isolate and try to push him to the wall. But unfortunately, that means that, you know, Team Cambodia wasn't able to reach towards this Kimi as well, because nobody from the side of Cambodia is ready to basically start the fight, right? Kyo is too busy defending the base at the same time, and also, you know, Main Kong on this Ruby is unable to contribute much. He's mostly like a utility right now.
Afan tries to zone everyone back out. The red carpet already laid down by Alexander as well. There's so much damage onto the Kai. Man cannot risk this Lord take. Yama Bandit lands onto Alexander, pulling him in close. But look at that flank. You got Shaoki on the backside.
T looking for an angle, trying to find thing right. The Lord is getting busted down. No way for the side of Team Cambodia to go on in.
That's the trigger. That's the pull. The wind of nature already popped up. There's a pull back on Shaoki. Stay too close to the sun. The immortality also popped up. Glorious pathway pulling everyone in. There's the Yama Bandit as well. Down goes Ruby. The next member of the fall. Hold them a little bit too close. They can't hold it on. As Cambodia back on the defense though. Blazing Duet, last ditch effort. This is it. Indonesia will secure game number 2.
Man, Delvin ends off the game in a convincing maniac. What a play coming out of Team Indonesia, because the members from the side Cambodia just couldn't hold on. They couldn't find onto Kimi. Kimi's positioning is so far back. It's very hard for them to find a catch onto Delvin.
Great play by Indonesia. Honestly, I think that was a huge redemption from game number 1. Even though they had no kills, in the second game, they really came back strong. And I told you about this, and we talked about the entirety of Group A. It's all about adjustments, readjustments, understanding your opponents, and learning very deeply how do you want to engage every single one of the team fights. So, hey, you know, the dream to take down the God Slayers, Cambodia, is still awake for Indonesia.
Well, the Sleeping Beast finally woke up in game number 2, right? Delivering a convincing win at the very least. Because I would say the EXP lane was a little bit sus, right? Yes, you're expecting the Ruby to do some form of damage and do some form of hook, but the rest of the members from the side Team Cambodia couldn't couldn't do anything, right? You hook onto a Kimi, the Kimi could just fly away very quickly, and or even better, drop the Sterling Pulse and also the ultimate at the same time. All of a sudden you couldn't run anywhere anymore, and then after that you just kite backwards, right? But then again, you know, MVP goes over to this Kimi. Delvin was free hitting from back, 10, 1, and 10. 93k damage dealt with 87 kill participation.
She was all over the game, or Delvin was basically all over the map as well. Hijume basically doing so much work through the entirety of this game. There was no one from Cambodia that could answer the call that Delvin that Delvin wanted to bring into this fight. And she's always staying all the way at the backside. There is no gap closer, no answer from Cambodia, and I think the play that shot Cambodia in their own foot was that Akai went into the aggressor right from the second minute of the game before the turtle spawned up. Once they lose that objective, once they lost their rotations in that front, they lost the turtle and they lost a lot of the advantages that they got over Indonesia.
Yeah, I think the Ruby pick was a little bit sus, I would say. I feel like this is a time where, you know, Team Cambodia may be trying to experimenting on, because on paper, Ruby got a major damage buff, right? Now the Ruby does a lot of damage. You saw it in one of the team fights where Team Cambodia was able to hook the squishies and then stun lock them permanently for the side Delvin and also Dingarai. And then after that, Solvan just go in with the clean up. But unfortunately, that's the only time we see the Ruby go in. Apart from that, I would say, like what I mentioned, crazy idea number 9, right? Other EXPs are better than the Ruby for now in this particular server.
It's just too easy to take down. 8 kills to High, who had such a great game with the R-Lot in the previous run. And Indonesia understood that once you take out that R-Lot, there was just nothing much that Cambodia could do. Even if High wanted to go fishing, it's just so hard to land. There wasn't a lot of range that I'm offended could bring to the table as well. So I think for Cambodia, it's back to the drawing board. Both teams, now that Indonesia showed their cards, it's all on Cambodia to readjust back into the meta and for Indonesia to find out exactly what Cambodia wants to do.
Yeah, with that said, don't go away, ladies and gents. We're going to go on short break. Game number 3 between these two teams will be coming up right next. very least, Team Indonesia was able to salvage game number 1 in game number 2, right?
Wasn't banned at all. Cambodia would work very well with the Yu Zhong, but I guess Hai just wants to be the fisherman for this game. But one more draft that they have to go through. Hopefully they change things up, or hopefully it remains the same as they did in game number 1. For Indonesia, though, they're looking hella good. They have woken up. Maybe they had a little bit of a break before that. They played a couple of games today as well, and hopefully this would be a answer and a statement for all the doubters out there.
Yeah, I think, like, you know, as we also look at the comment section, right, we also do watch the comment section because why not?
Oh, no, it's only you, Jays. I try to stay away actively from the comment section. But hey, yes, I understand what you're saying. Yeah. I do understand what you're saying. The first game definitely was a blowout in Indonesia. Not a good look for them.
Broken Walls this time round for game number 3, the last game. I assure you, this is the last game that we have. Pride, and of course, you know, dropping the match over to Team Cambodia is also something that they need to be paying attention about.
Yep. On the blue side will be Indonesia. On the blue, you got Phobias, Arlot, and a Marcel ban. On Cambodia on the red, a little bit of a ban on the Fanny, Freya as well. I think a big issue for Cambodia itself is the Paquito. Hopefully they take that out of the game. Indonesia definitely understands that, hey, I don't want to deal with the Arlot anymore. There's quite a bit of issues with the Arlot coming into the picture. And hey, I just don't want to get that forced reposition. The Paquito is banned out, so it is a pretty brand new draft for both teams this round.
Yep, at least Arlot is already gone and Marcel is already gone. First pick coming out on the blue side is going to be the Clone. We're going to do a very quick reset of the API very soon, and after that give you, because to be honest, it's a little bit interesting, right? Not too sure which side is which, right? Because if you notice that Cambodia flag is on the left-hand side, but it is a Team Indonesia one. So we're gonna do a quick reset. At least from there, we have a better sensing on, at the very least, what's going on. But in terms of the bans, I think at the very least we can cover the bans, right? Because these are heroes that you will not see anymore. The Phobias, the Arlot, the Marcel, and then after that you got the Paquito, Freya, and Fanny. Common suspects as of now, just accept the fact that, you know, the Arlot and also the Paquito got removed.
So question for this game is gap closers are definitely going to be a very high contention rate for both these two teams. And speaking of gap closers, Cambodia are going to solidify the Baxia, not going to try the Akai once again. Carry going to be picked up back in the hands of Keo, who did a pretty awesome game in the previous game against Malaysia this afternoon. Indonesia going to pick up the Jusin and Akai for themselves. And it kind of seems like, hey, even though there's blue side and Akai usually is that R2 pick, you're seeing it in the B3.
Carry pick, like what you mentioned. Very prioritized, right? Kyo seems like he's been playing a lot of carry in for today as well, whenever we see them on stream. For the side of the Baxia, of course, you know, high octane gameplay, that's why not. Jusin being secure by the side of Team Indonesia is absolutely awesome. It counters against what? It also protects Akai as well. And maybe perhaps make it easier for the Akai or perhaps the Jusin to land down the damage from afar. The Yuzhong selected for the side of Team Cambodia. Yeah, big dragon flying everywhere, and then after that, hopefully land onto either the Cloud or the Jusin. But these two heroes are very slippery. The BMI and also the Crimson Beacon allow these two heroes to basically reposition to safety.
So Yuzhong is, we talked about this a little bit during the break that we had, but I was just really saying, hey, Yuzhong is a great gap closer. You do very well in the early game, within your lanes. No matter what EXP lane your opponents pick, you're able to hold yourself up just because of the little spin that you have. If I remember correctly, there's also a little bit of a damage buff from that Yuzhong as well. And not only that, the Black Dragon form allows you to zone them out. You don't necessarily have to land a Petrify onto any one of the members, but you create that space and opportunity during the major objectives, which is what Cambodia naturally thrives in. Going into the second stage of the bans, the Matilda and the Glue being banned out, they understand that Alexander is a big threat towards their entire Death Ball composition. Indonesia, on the other hand, banning out the Yve, might possibly go for the Farsa ban? Question mark. Or even, you know, putting the Kimi onto Cambodia as well.
Valentina.
Would be quite interesting.
I feel like there's also the Valentina threat that Team Indonesia can potentially look out for, right? You get Valentina over to Cambodia. Cambodia can also take the... Then there'll be that awkward Beyblade fight. But it seems like teams are not going to think about the Valentina. They're going to ban away the Gord instead. Gord Baxia is a good one, but combo, massive burst, you knock into somebody and then just unleash the laser, right? And then after that, just let it rip, right? But also, you also got burst potential coming out from the carry as well. So yeah, I think that's a okay ban coming out from Team Indonesia. I feel like, of course, this is a slot for the...
that's going to be
Rome?
the mid lane and the Roam.
I feel like Rome is the R4 pick here.
Yeah, take away the mid lane, the Roam first. Cho works well, able to disrupt, get into Jusin, but you're constantly getting pulled back.
Yeah, find a pick off on somebody. Okay.
I've been teasing it for the past two games. I really wanted to see the Balearic in picture, and finally Cambodia pulls it out of their pocket. Trust Cambodia to bring out pocket picks that we never naturally see. We've seen Balearic a couple of times, but hey, in this lineup, it works so well. Anti-dive, which is precisely what Indonesia wants to do.
I like how animated and what the coach is when the Balearic pick goes in, right? It's like clapping his hands right there. But I agree, Balearic could really clap onto Claude very easily. It also denies what Akai wants to do as well. You slow down the heavy spin activation. Also, you trap the Jusin in that area. But Balearic also, the main punching bag for the side of Jusin, right, can easily pick Balearic up and then throw them around.
Nisha going for the Badang. We haven't seen this in a while. And the CC, the
Crazy
final last game in Indonesia does not disappoint once again.
Crazy idea number 6, CC coming into play. Works well against tanks, deal tons of damage against the Baxia. To a certain extent, the Balearic as well. But Badang on the roam to stun lock everybody. This is going to be a festival of CCs for both of these two teams.
Speaking about CC, I love that instead of just one pocket pick, they're going with two. Badang we haven't seen in a while. I feel like it's still quite a viable option in terms of the early game. You have so much range, and we talked about the Kimi as well. This would be the best option for Sovan coming into the last match. But hey, Jace, This is psyching up to be a exciting battle, exciting matchup between Indonesia and Cambodia. What better way to finish this off than game number 3? Lots of stakes on the line. I mean, both teams are basically just going to go
I
into
feel like the
Nagoya
stakes
anyways.
are definitely going to be the national pride, right? Of course, if Team Cambodia beats Team Indonesia, don't forget this is the alter ego stack. Yeah, I feel like Team Cambodia will definitely feel a lot better for themselves as they head over to Nagoya for the 2026 Asian Games Esports Events MLBB.
I think Cambodia also understood and they learned from their mistakes. They're pulling out all the stops, and I think this would be one of their best lineups just yet. Indonesia, on the other hand, though, they do have quite a bit of adjustments that they're making. Shaoki on the CC, and we've seen how sneaky he is when he plays this game. It's all about that speed run. It's all about that early game. It's lights out and away we go. Cambodia and Indonesia, game number 3.
Yep, and apart from that, you got also the Kimi coming on from the side of Team Cambodia. I mean, you saw how Kimi can be really oppressive, especially landing down the damage from afar, bursting these enemy heroes, and also start ramping up at gate level 1 as well, right? Because you do a lot of burst damage, sorry, a lot of chip damage, but for a very quick time.
Delvin being a little bit annoying, just pushing Tai back into the picture, back underneath their own turret. So they have that mid lane prior at least for the first 40 seconds of the game. Taking a look at the emblems.
Support emblem coming up from the side of Alexander.
Yep. Typically,
Being
you
able
also have
to
the Thunder Belt, and then you heal everything back up with the Fist Crack as well because you have the basic attack effects.
And not only just that, you also roam around the map a lot faster. But speaking of roam, oh!
Yep, that's on the top side. Directly onto Shaoki. CC able to be safe and sound for now. Afan has other works in the mid lane. Type taking a lot of damage, able to walk out safe and sound. Sovan taking a lot of damage as well. The power of Alexander is you're able to push them back. A little bit of a stun up, 0.5 seconds. But Cambodia still even Stevens. No one is losing their life. No one wants to make a mistake.
Yeah, so far the gang was great coming off of Nem, knowing that the Bucks are definitely looking for early game picks off. And top side, look, CZ looks very easy to pick off, right? Technically speaking, early game, kind of squishy, but still very mobile. If you don't have a hard lockdown to lock him in place, it is just going to be very difficult to catch onto the slippery CC.
It'll take a little bit more time for the EXP in the mid lane to get that level 4. At least you have some form of a viable power spike to fight when this turtle that's spawning up right now. Kai just needs a little bit more time. Cam already in position, or Tai already in position. Sovan will be next to follow. Indonesia trying to fight their way back. Alexander pushing this Baxia away. The zone of potential is strong. Black Dragon form comes through. Turtle already at a third. That's the heavy spin already used up as well. Nam will secure that. And Cambodia wins out the first objective of the game. And Shaoki taking a lot of damage and taking the hits. That's the first rotation coming in from Kyo all the way from the bottom side as for additional support.
No casualties so far in the first turtle fight. Alexander locking up T right there in a very awkward position, building a wall. But now it's going to be the members from the side. Delvin trying to fight a pick right here.
That's the backup coming in from Nam. You've got a lot of rolling. You push Alexander back just in the nick of time. That's the first blood up on that top side. A solo kill from High.
Good enough. Solo kill for High on this Yuzhong is absolutely wonderful. The snowball will start. Even Xiaoyuki already used the vengeance earlier. Just now will not be able to use it then. I feel like it's the difference between is the curtain call wasn't able to be landed down onto the Yuzhong. Therefore, the Yuzhong pick up the kill.
Cambodia definitely a little bit more aggressive this time around as Indonesia tries to fight their way up, back up tooth and nail. It's hard to take Tai down now that it's a Bella rig. You soak up that damage and you dish and reflect the damage back with the thorns, with the spikes. In Indonesia, it has to deal with a constant threat of that poke damage. What you deal, what you get. You get what you deal.
Delvin, now the receiving end of this Kimi. It's taking a lot of chip damage coming off from this Kimi right off the bat. And also even the weakness finder emblem coming up, talent coming up from the side of Team Cambodia, right? So,
that's the punch, that's the fist crack. Kyo will fall on the bottom side.
Amazing punch coming up from Alexander Dingerai, picking up that kill. Blazing Duet definitely going to be so super juicy. Corrosive side. Also, the first item of the attack speed, Trinity, is already secured.
Very worth it. You don't really have a lot of map options. Tai was being trapped in that mid lane. Alexander slowly rotated down to the bottom side, mid side. Kimi in a spot of bother. Delvin dealing a lot of damage onto Sovan.
Kill score is 1:1 right now. You can see the reason why Alexander rocked that support emblem and also the rapid boots. He's just on the mid, onto bot, and then after that, all across the map.
Crimson Beacon already used, no escape mechanism for Delvin, but there's the pull back, and that's the fence crack, stopping him in his tracks. The Rapid Dryad underneath the turret. Cambodia extremely aggressive, and Indonesia punishing them.
This is the one that I was kind of theorizing in one of the series, right? Like, heck, the Padang wall, you can build it up, and now with the Kai back into the meta, you can push members from the side of Kai wall, Kai using the heavy spin into a Padang wall, or be the Padang wall. You can also even use a Grok wall to a certain extent.
Just build a wall, which is what Indonesia did earlier on against Cambodia. Cambodia likes that very heavy aggression, and they're making the mistakes because they're forcing the dives underneath their turrets. Indonesia are waiting for Cambodia to come into the fray. Take a look at this replay. Alexander waited for Delvin to use their lantern to bring them underneath that turret before the fence crack came into fruition. Cambodia starting off with this turtle. Nam in position. You got a Rapid Dryad to taunt. Nam picks up that turtle on the backside. Delvin taking a lot of hits from that Black Dragon form. The shot residue will heal everything back up as Cambodia got what they can, and they're out of here.
Yep, 2 turtles in the pockets as well, but of course this is still a consolation prize, right? Earlier just now they lost, I believe that was Nem and also another Nem right there, and so that's definitely a bit of a consolation prize, but I want to see more coming out from this one more combo that we just witnessed, right? A fun on the heavy spin, Alexander building a wall right there. I think Alexander in the previous team fight, turtle fight, used the fist crack a little bit too early to try to push people away, but albeit, unfortunately, Team Cambodia is the one that secured the turtle instead, and also, you've got a Yuzhong that is starting to scale.
A little bit of movement adjustments on the fly for Tai as well. He knows that Alexander is going to be a huge threat to Kyo's farming phase. So he's going to mirror and seek out where Padang is at all times at mech. Taking a look at what the levels is for now. I think Afan is still pretty even Stevens with Nem. Nem is just one level ahead, but very, very little.
Yeah, it's still very close, like 97% now. Afan and also Nem is already hitting that same level. So in terms of jungle, they're still equal.
Bottom
but
side.
Of course,
bottom side. That's engaged in right underneath the turret. Not enough to take him down.
Light Wheel's ultimate already activated by the side of Kyo. The Light Wheel's just spin for the win for now. Alexander,
ooh, top side underneath the turret. Down goes the Yuzhong high. Couldn't survive this wrap that Indonesia is bringing into this fight.
Yep, good gank as well. The curtain call, and also even I believe the Crimson Beacon and also the heavy spin use. I think at this rate, time check right now is around 10+ PM. They are just throwing every single ultimate to make sure that this Yuzhong doesn't stand up.
Yep, just a little bit of a control from Indonesia. They have a pretty decent lead so far, topping off at 1.3k gold. Is Cambodia tied, taking a lot of damage, will not be enough to survive for now. Shaoki, holding on to that yo-yo, that's the Rapid Dryad, that's the taunt up, that's the shot residue is high, takes him out. Afan steals up that turtle, but underneath the turret, there's a free hit from that Kimmy. You can't deal with the damage that Cambodia brings in. 2 down for 1, so worth it for Cambodia though. Dingarai might be the next to fall, but he's playing uber safe. It's no way that he can step 1 foot close. Another counter re-engage on Delvin. No Crimson Beacon, no problem. Kyo takes that down.
Team Indonesia was in the driver's seat all across the board. Team Indonesia was able to do the combo that we expect. Let Alexander build a wall, fizz crack, make a fun, push everybody in, and OCR, you can just pick everybody up and throw them down on the ground. That's supposed to do a lot of damage. Just take a look right there. Even the Beleric using the ultimate way too early on, but it seems like, you know, the members for the time of Team Indonesia is running on steam. The Kimmy free hitting from the back because everybody is trying to congregate into that one small pocket from the side of this Badang wall.
Alexander was just disrupting this Beleric and the Baxia, so hyper-focusing the ultimate on the tanks is not the main target. You're leaving a lot of open space for Sovan to reposition itself. So much space for Kyo to get that free hits with the speedy light wheels. Afan finds Tai, pulls him back way too deep, but he's still alive and standing. Baxia getting pulled back as well. It's going to be annoying to deal with the lantern. As Cambodia still up ahead.
Kyo has already secured the golden staff as we take a look at the items earlier just now. And of course, you know, during that fight as well, if you recall, Team Indonesia was able to find, Nem was able to find T as well, but the main problem is Sylvan and also Kyo were just free fighting for the backline, shredding through Afan, and Xiaoyuki doesn't really have the damage to deal with it as of now. Dingarai definitely needs a lot more items in order to deal with this heavy stack of tankiness.
Petrify already used up. Afan holding on to the heavy spin. No heavy spin, by the way. Kyo making a beeline towards Afan. They want to take down this Akai, and they want to take him down now. This feel like will not be enough. Alexander on the back line will not be able to find Kyo, though. The damage from this carry is starting to show as Indonesia struggling to break through Cambodia's defenses, and Cambodia finding the cracks in Indonesia's armor.
The power of the Golden Staff is here, right? Kyo with the speedy light wheels was able to just shred through, constantly proc that passive over and over and over. And not only just that, right? If Dingarai is unable to find a good lazy duet, especially towards the squishies, that's over. And the main problem for that side of Team Indonesia is how are they going to do that with T on this Beleric, right? Beleric, I feel like right now just counters every single thing what the Cloud wants to do.
They're going to play the map. Alexander wants to lock onto Kimmy. You're blocking the entrance route onto Ty. There's a wrap of the Dryad targeting onto Ty. Valeric falls, but a heavy spin also pins this box area to the wall on the back line. They took care of the Kimmy. No extra damage. Black Dragon came in a little bit too slow. They still got Kyo in the picture though. Cambodia trying to defend against this wrap that Indonesia was break. 2 goes down with the Black Dragon here. You got a Big Daddy Dragon. Happy Father's Day. This is what Cambodia is saying to you.
Dragon's massive right now from the side of Team Cambodia, right? Even though Team Indonesia pick up a very good fight, but then the return
light wheels is worth vengeance though. Kyo almost taking himself out.
Curtain Call was also activated by the side of CC as well onto Kyo, but Kyo, that speedy light wheels, that proc on the true damage, even through that vengeance, Team Cambodia finds a picking onto Xiaoyuki early in the town. Take a look at this replay, right? It's just, I think this is already over, but before that, right, Dalvan and also Afan is taking a lot of damage early just now because of the Kyo and also the Sylvan as well. The Black Dragon form coming in just a nice moment. He's this massive dragon. He's just shredding Shah residue. He's almost nigh impossible to kill, especially after you lost Dalvin, you lost Xiaoyuki and Dingarai.
Cambodia takes the first Lord. Just waiting for 1 second until the Lord spawns up. As Indonesia on the defense. Oh, Kimi actually taking a lot of damage. Able to use the jetpack to get out. Cambodia wants to get that reset, and it's so easy for Cambodia's. Win condition. You just need to find Dingarai, take him out, and basically that's it. The damage from Xiaoyuki won't start to hurt until really just a little bit later in this in the game. For Cambodia though, even if you take out that Kenny, you still got Kyo to deal with. If you take out Kyo, you still got Soban to deal with.
Yep, I think it's just, you can see Alexander using the Badang. I think the fist cracks were great, but he needs to hit the right target, right? Try to pin down Kyo, try to pin down Soban, but still, T as the Valeric just exists. Dingarai couldn't do anything. Dalvin is a juice-in, by the way, so he's going to run out of steam very shortly if he doesn't control his and watch his mana as well. But on the other hand, Sylvan on this Kimi could just go on for days, keep constantly hitting, and that's free damage that members on Team Indonesia have to watch out for.
They're trying to tease Indonesia to come out just a little bit more. Heavy spin already utilized by Afan in a last-ditch effort to push Cambodia away, but they're clinging on to that lead that they're having.
CC passing all the way up top, trying to fix that wave. Generate a slow little push up top against Team Cambodia. Items check right now. It is also going to be the maximum item that Dingarai already needs. Does have the Wind of Nature. Perhaps he's ready to play.
We kind of re-engaged. They just want to take down this T2. Cambodia. Oh, that's a Petrify onto Dalvin. Crimson Beacon locked up just in the nick of time. That's the taunt. Blocking up a fall from the rest of the team. No damage, no problem. Alexander's next to fall. The fish crack will not be enough as the Black Dragon keeping all 4 members of Indonesia away from Cambodia.
T is basically delaying that the Rev of the Dryad for such a long time, and he's actually making like Dingarai unable to use the Blazing Duet in the nick of time, and that's a big problem. Now, to make things even worse, Kyo has secured his own Wind of Nature. Now Dingarai has to be careful, has to be smart on how he maneuvers this plot around and land down the maximum potential damage using the Blazing Duet.
30 seconds until the Lord spawns up. Cambodia speeding up this game. It's late. They've had a long week. And now Cambodia is just pulling and playing mind games over Indonesia.
Plate armor, Shanghai's Prologen, exactly what the Boxia needs. Activate the Toti's Poisons as well. You're just gonna absorb so much damage as well. Yep. It's just so much damage for the side of Team Cambodia that can absorb. They're more than happy to absorb the damage from the side of Delvin and also Dingarai as well. Shayuki, I think currently as a critical, you're not able to find anything unless it's isolated.
No, Petrified with Alexander, so unfortunate. Indonesia doesn't have a setup. This scrap would have been so helpful. Holding on to the Rebel. No Rebel to Riot though. The Blazing Duet will come through. Tai taking a lot of damage. You got Boxia coming in hot. You got a Black Dragon as well. Over on the backside, Shayuki able to deal enough damage to push to a higher way, but he's just healing everything back up. The sustain from this dragon is too much to handle at this point.
Nice pickoff coming out the side of Team Cambodia onto Alexander, right? Like, and not just that, right? Even Bederick has already committed to the ultimate. Even Team Indonesia couldn't dare to jump into. Dingarai finally activated the Blazing Duet, but the members from the side of Team Cambodia, you know, got the Chettais for join as I was talking about. You also got your the Blade Armor as well. So technically speaking, Team Cambodia is dishing out the damage back into this Claude.
Yeah, the Reflect is just way too much for Indonesia to handle at this point. Beleric, hard to deal with, and he is just holding on to the Rapid Riot until at the very last second when Indonesia is lured with all 5 members. And Cambodia just overturning all these team fights. Now that's on the defense, back on the defense. The Lord pushing in the mid side, Black Dragon form over on the back side. Traction Pulse, will pull a fan back, heavy spin committed. The crash onto the turret, locked down underneath the wall. The Dragon will get out safe. Theo just dealing that damage onto the turret, onto the structures that Indonesia holds dear. They took what they can and they're rotating. They are making full use of the next minion waves.
Yep. Now Team Cambodia backing, pushing into Team Indonesia back against the wall, trying to look for any form of pickups right here earlier just now. The Lord and all this kind of stuff. I think in terms of the Lord fight, in terms of juggling these team fights, Team Cambodia, I think they executed to the T. But when it comes to Team Indonesia, though, Alexander, these Badang finds, these Badang picks, I think is great, but you need to find the right targets. If the Kimi and also the carry is just left untouched, then what's the point? There's no point, because the members from the side of Team Cambodia, especially the tanks, are more than happy, more than glad to absorb the damage coming off the Juicin and also the Claw.
You know, easier said than done. I think this Badang is kind of in a similar situation with the Ruby from the previous game. As much of the CC, as much of the crowd control abilities that you want to use from this Badang, it's just not enough. It's just not tanky enough. Because you also operate as sort of like a pseudo tank. You want to get into the midst of battle, but immediately getting shut down is a huge problem for your team. You always see that Badang is hitting the right targets. He's changing targets as and when he wants. There are also certain occurrences of a pick off from this Alexander as well, but Indonesia is just way too far ahead, away from the rest of the team and away from Alexander to be able to follow up with additional damage.
I feel it's also, to the certain extent, right, the Beleric was a really smart pick, right? Yes, even though we kind of, during some of the shows, some of the drafts, right, I did say, hey, if there's a tier above S+, you put Claude right there, right? But now it seems like Beleric, this uncommon pick, is also starting to become a factor to basically kind of push that Claude away. Once Claude doesn't have the Blazing Duet, there's not a lot of damage coming out from them, and then after that, immediately just get easily shredded away.
You know, not even the Blazing Duet, like even the auto attacks that Claude brings to the table.
It hits.
With a couple with the golden staff, that's 4 hits every single second, or a couple more hits every single second, that Beleric has the chance to reflect, has the chance to deal that damage back, and it causes so much harm to Indonesia, because without that Claude getting pushed back away from that Beleric, you have to, you're wasting time with that Claude sustaining through the jungle creeps, through the neutral creeps, to be able to heal it back up and then rejoin in the team fights. So you don't risk that kind of situation where Claude is just free hitting onto the Beleric that, you know, you just really can't control that reflect damage.
Yep. I think it's just, you know, Team Indonesia, hopefully they're able to quickly find a very quick solution, because, you know, you got Team Cambodia knocking on your doors, especially on your base turrets already, and they're still unable to solve the Beleric problem, right? And I think this is also a good game to kind of analyze. Even after today, right? Like, this is how you deal with the Claude. Like, late game, you don't use the Belleric as a form of engage. You wait for Team Indonesia to jump onto you. You counter engage. You unleash the Wrath of the Dryad, and then after that, just make the enemy hit themselves.
Well, it's really difficult. The death ball that Cambodia is bringing, they're building a citadel, and their walls are made out of steel, and that steel has thorns.
Belleric.
Trees. And precisely, make it out of whatever material you want. They have thorns on it, and it deals additional spike damage, and it hits you back even harder with range, especially if you are a hard-hitting, tank-melting marksman like Claude. So,
especially if you rely on attack speed, right? That thing is gonna bounce back at you over and over again. And if you don't really have the necessary life steal to kind of help to recuperate that losses, you're just gonna get shredded by your own bullets. Because I've been there before. As a Beatrix, back in the good old days, Alpha with Blade Armor, Vengeance, and I hold a Wesker, the shotgun.
Yep, that's an own goal right there.
I literally killed myself. I literally just shot myself to death because of the reflect damage, and that was awkward.
Tricky. With not a lot of range as well for Indonesia.
4K reflected damage back to me. Yeah, exactly. And so that's why, I don't envy the position of this Claude, right? It's a very difficult decision. When do I go into the Blazing Duet? When is it too late? When is it too early? If it's too early, the enemy would just pull back, and then after that, you're going to get sniped down. But if it's too late, hey, the rest of the teammate has just died.
We talked a lot about Claude. We hypothesized about how Indonesia has this chance of coming back, and they're still not out of the woods just yet. And speaking of woods, Belleric definitely is one of those heroes that are extremely hard to deal with. But CC being one of the other pocket picks, what do you think so far?
I think CC main goal is to really land a curtain call onto a single target. Right, I think that's where the CC is truly strong at. Land that curtain call down
double target, and then you're
double target.
Trapped.
You're basically
that's the best case scenario.
I don't think it's the best case scenario, because the whole point of the curtain call is to basically use that to burst. Right, use a curtain call on a single target. You burst down that person, rinse and repeat, jump away. And because of how mobile CC can be, especially if you're the back line, if you get landed on the curtain call, hey, you're basically dead mate, especially if you're a single target. But if you get the curtain call on the two, you hope and pray it's both of the squishies.
We're coming back from after the little bit of a technical difficulties from both teams. But hey, we're in this position right now. Cambodia does have a lead, Indonesia behind, and we hypothesize on how they could play this out. They need to be a little bit more defensive on how they layer in their damages, layer in their hits. It's all on Alexander's shoulders. He's finding the right frisk cracks, but there is no follow-up from Indonesia, and it's not hard enough.
So far, it could also be, Team Cambodia reacting towards Team Indonesia's engages, right? That's why the Belleric comes into play. You got a Baxia to kind of force something, also heal for the enemy, for their team as well. The Kimi uses free hitting from behind, slow everybody. Don't forget the weakness finder is also a very annoying talent on the Kimi as well. So yeah, Team Indonesia, maybe switch it around a little bit. Slow down the engage. Don't be the main one to engage instead.
Yep, Kimi with attraction pulse to start the engage from. You got immobilization on Shauki. Can't even get close. Tight at the front line. Cambodia playing it safe. 50 seconds until Lord spawns up. Indonesia doesn't want to risk it.
Yeah, don't forget, if you take a look at the side of Team Indonesia, they only crack open top side for the side of Cambodia, whereas Cambodia has a full access towards the core of Team Indonesia right in the mid.
It's a team fight versus team fight. All playing 5v5. Indonesia trying to split their heads. They're sending Chus in to deal with the wave down the bottom side. You think it is a good position for Indonesia to be in, or would you rather send the CC?
I think CC wave clear quite well, but the longer that Team Cambodia is actually staying around, yes, there's going to be Winnets pushing down. But
that's attraction balls on the Diggerai, almost taking him out.
Oh my god, that was so close. That was the traction pulse that we are looking at, but it did not, luckily it did not boil down to a massive problem for the side of Team Indonesia. Now Xiaoyuki going for the Hunter Strike, realizes that he needs a little bit more damage to be able to deal with, and also that bonus movement speed to jump away. This is almost a full damage CC, right, except for the Brute Force and also the Oracle.
It's a full item, everyone. Tai getting pulled back by the Lantern. Will it be enough to take him down?
CC!
Oh! No more time. They're sounding the alarm. Cambodia trying to pull everyone back in. There's a traction pulse. The mitigator, the gap closer on the back line. Kyo, that's free hitting on the back side. They're pinning everyone down. The back guard form a little bit too slow. 3 members down for Cambodia. It's 2 versus 4. And it's just a free hit from Indonesia. They found the strike. They found the cracks. As Indonesia might be able to cycle Cambodia all the way to the throne they go.
Man, 20 seconds on the clock right here for the side of Team Cambodia.
This
right
might be
now,
it.
we're thinking right as well. And also,
Chase.
wait, how did this happen?
This might be it. It's all over now. It's Indonesia, the only NPL region to be able to take down the God Slayers.
Man, Team Cambodia. What was that? That was like, okay, I thought that was a normal pick off for the side of Team Indonesia. They are able to find onto the targets. But all of a sudden, as I pointed out, Shiryuki has the Hunter Strike. And he's like, whoa, that's a lot of damage that you can do, even towards a Belleric, right?
Yeah.
That's what I mentioned, right? You land on the curtain call onto a single target, you just shred through HP bars, and the target, unfortunately, was Belleric. Belleric, unfortunately, overestimated the amount of tankiness he has on this CC.
I am just in awe.
I wish there's a replay.
when we hypothesized,
Yep.
like, okay, this CC, what is the goal? And you said, okay, single target.
Cuss.
And then a single target. And it was on to Ty. And we thought, like, okay, Ty is going to be safe and sound. He's a strong tank. He doesn't have the immortality, though. And he is not even full build. He doesn't really have that last item that he really needs.
Yep.
And Indonesia took full advantage of that. Immediately, once Valorant was taken out, no Rather Dryad, no problem at all. They tore the entire Citadel apart. The walls were broken. Akai just came in, heavy spin, disrupted that back line to be able to finish up that job. And without the Kimmy, without Pio in the picture, it was just all over from that point.
Yeah, and the fact is, you know, if you notice in that fight earlier just now, it was Claude sent all the way to the side lanes, and also the Dragon sent to the bottom lane as well. Of course, you're gonna have to give the award for the MVP over to Delvin for the juicing, but I want to highlight that last team fight earlier just now, right? The fact is, the Dragon was the one that's also constantly peeling for the whole team, and now because after immediately when you lose your Belleric, you just lose a lot of peeling factor, right? Yes, technically speaking, you got the Baxia, but late game, you got Dingerai that's unlocked, unleashes the Blazing Duet. The biggest problem for the side of Team Indonesia was Belleric's ulti, and right now, Dingerai is this unleashed beast, got activated, just bursting down the rest of Team Cambodia one after another.
Indonesia definitely read Cambodia like an open book. This is by no means a dominant position that any one of these two teams were in. It was even Stevens. Look at the scoreline, 11-11. Make a wish, Jays. And picking up that pocket picks with the Badang, with the CCs was definitely the change that they need. Sure, they suffered a little bit with Thai. They suffered a little bit with Belleric being a counter dive synergy, and Indonesia was playing the back foot for at least a third of the game. But hey, the last hit, it just takes one spark to light a fire.
Yeah, the item diff, I would say, I blame on Hunter Strike, man. The Hunter Strike all of a sudden it does a lot, hurt, and exactly what I was ordering. Maybe the curtain call onto one single target. T was the one that absorbed that curtain call. Then you see how fast T just melted right in front of your eyes, right? CC can shred through HP, and Shiryuki knows it, using the great success as well. The Lexan to stun lock over that Belleric at the same time, and Delvin landing down, making sure he's also adding on more damage onto this Belleric. You know,
Dingerai wasn't even in the picture,
nope,
so when we hypothesized, like, okay, this is going to be hard for Claude to take down this Belleric. Claude is not going to be the one that takes down this Belleric. It's going to be Shaoki, it's going to be Delvin, who's going to be pulling Ty back, and he was in a very vulnerable position. He was just walking along that riverside in the middle of his base, and Indonesia managed to clear and wipe them out underneath their opponent's base, underneath Cambodia's base.
By the way, that is the first tier turret of the mid lane for the side Team Cambodia. And once, you know, Team Cambodia got wiped out, Team Indonesia make the solid choice to just rush all the way and just burst through mid first tier.